welcome back to Warrior Princess Playback, and I hope you're in the mood for an action-packed episode because the Persian army are invading. This is Xena! Season 3 of Xena is a bit of a wild ride. Gabrielle gets impregnated by a dark god, has an evil baby called Hope, lies to Xena that Hope died, then Hope comes back and kills Xena's son Solon. Xena nearly throws Gabrielle off a cliff. They have a bizarre yet somehow amazing musical episode where they sing their way to reconciliation, and we end up here. Season 3, episode 13, One Against an Army. I'm a huge fan of this episode because it really reaffirms the bond of love that exists between Xena and Gabrielle and features probably the best action sequence of the entire show. So let's get into it!
Get ready for a fight, Spartan!
We start with Gabrielle practicing how to flip like Xena. She even has a cute little toothpick doll that she keeps in her bra. Seems like asking for a splinter in your boob if you ask me. Xena warns it will end in tears and gets proven right when Gabrielle sprains her ankle. Xena does that mum thing where she says she's not gonna say I told you so, but it's basically the same as saying I told you so. And the ankle's too swollen to take off the boot, so whee! As they're bathing the ankle, a very out-of-breath man comes to tell them that the Persians are coming.
I've never seen such an attack. The sky was so thick with arrows, you couldn't see the sun.
Our arrows will blot out the sun.
Then we will fight in the shade.
Xena quickly comes up with a plan to cause a landslide at the pass in Thermopylae to drive the Persians through Tripolis, where Xena used to keep a secret armory.
If we're lucky, the weapons will still be there. We'll be ready for them.
Then this guy arrives to try and steal her horse. Yeah, good luck with that.
He's a Spartan from his clothes.
Are you sure? He looks like he's wearing too much to be a Spartan. Anyway, this guy's name is Dorian. He's going to pretend to be a Spartan deserter, but spoiler alert, he's actually a Persian spy. Xena brings him along with them, but she works out pretty quickly that he's not who he claims to be.
Xena, you still haven't told me your plans to stop the Persians.
Oh, haven't I?
A flicker of light up ahead warns Xena that an ambush is coming, and she sends Gabrielle and Argo off into the woods so they'll be out of harm's way. Then she gives Dorian his sword and runs into the fight. Gabrielle notices that Dorian has frozen and rides back in to save him, then gets an arrow in her back for her trouble. Oh no! I guess Xena finished off those Persians off screen because we go straight into worrying about Gabrielle now.
Go and do something useful. Make a fire.
I just really love that line. Anyway, it's time to deal with the arrow wound, which we learned how to do back in Season 1, Episode 2, when Xena had to talk a scruffy Bradley Cooper lookalike through it while trying not to pass out from blood loss, which was pretty badass. Step 1. Did the arrow go through?
The arrow didn't pass through. You'll have to push it through.
Step 2. Break off the pointy bit.
Now break the arrowhead.
Step 3. Yank it out.
Pull out the shaft.
That's enough. And step 4.
Get the poker.
You're not gonna...
So that's all sorted, only this time there's one little extra problem.
Poison.
Xena tells Dorian there's a landslide up at the pass and sends him to get help. Wait a minute. Xena hasn't made the landslide yet.
He's a spy. Right now he's rushing back to tell him there's been a landslide.
So that we don't have to do it. The army will be diverted anyway.
Xena and Gabrielle get to Tripolis only to discover that the militia there have sacked their own town, so there's nothing left for the Persians, which also means no medicine for Gabrielle. Xena wants to move on to Thessaly where they can get Gabby what she needs, but Gabby points out they need to stay so they can slow down the Persians. So off they go to the armory, and luckily Xena's old weapons are still lying about.
I hid these here in case I ever had another army.
Didn't know that I qualified as an army.
Gabrielle has a final wish just in case she doesn't make it. She wants Xena to save herself if the battle becomes hopeless.
Can't promise that.
Meanwhile, outside, there's a few Persians hanging about. And just in case you thought they weren't in enough trouble, Gabrielle's makeup got worse and she's coughing up blood.
I just ran out of time, didn't I?
Xena makes a litter for Gabrielle and decides it's time to run. Gabrielle argues that they can't run because they have to make sure Athens doesn't fall to the Persians. Speaking of Athens, whatever you do, don't Google Maps the places mentioned in this episode if you want the plot to make any sense. Because, well, it doesn't. Anyway, the two women have a brilliant argument here where Gabrielle reminds Xena that the greater good is more important than her life.
The greater good.
I honestly love how brave Gabrielle is in this episode. The core of her character is how passionate she is about helping people. It never occurs to her to put herself first.
You taught me that there are things in life worth dying for. Things that hold a higher meaning than our own existence.
Not your existence.
Why? Because I'm your friend?
Yes.
Seeing Xena torn between her mission to atone for her past and her love for Gabrielle is just bloody good drama. Xena goes off to brood about it for a while and busies herself cooking up some delicious oil. Gabrielle, meanwhile, gets a bit delirious, maybe because of the oil fumes. She then has a dream about the coming battle and sees Xena getting her throat cut. I don't really have much to say about this shot, I just think it's really lovely. Before morning, Xena decides it's time for round 2 of their argument. Xena says she's done atoning for her past and that she wants to put Gabrielle first. Gabrielle's response is heartbreaking.
A long time ago, I accepted the consequences of our life together. That it might one day come to this. I'm not afraid.
How lucky were we, though, to be able to do scenes like this together?
Yeah, I will never.
You know, and 2 women. Get out of here.
This is to be our destiny. Let's see it out together. Even in death, Gabrielle, I will never leave you.
Damn! When this show is good, it's really good, guys. And just in case you haven't been hit in the feels yet, please enjoy this moment where Xena yells at her horse Argo to make her run to safety.
Go on, do as I say! Go!
Don't worry, Argo will be back by the next episode. Back inside, the pot of boiling oil is ready, and Xena puts Gabrielle in the loft where she can push the oil onto some Persians if she wants to. Gabrielle warns Xena about her dream, and they talk a lot about their feelings.
I love you, Gabrielle.
I love you, Xena.
Hey, what's that rumbling sound in the distance? Oh cool, it's the Persians! Let's get down to business, people. Now, at this point in the plot, the Persians don't really know where Xena is. They probably have heard from Dorian that one warrior woman is trying to stop them, but they're just interested in carrying on to Athens, so I guess the only reason they stop is because Xena comes outside to do a battle cry. It just seems like they could have kept going to Athens and not stopped, and everything would have worked out fine for them. Luckily, they do stop, and their archers take aim at Xena, so she runs inside and quickly bars the door. The Persians breach the windows first, but quickly wish they hadn't. Then they break down the door and arrive just in time for the fire show. After that, we get some wicked flail action. Gabrielle's premonition comes true and that one guy comes down from the ceiling, but Xena's been warned, so she just breaks his neck. Then Xena climbs up this chain so Gabrielle can pour out the boiling oil. Now it's time for a somersault through the ceiling and a bit of roof sword fighting action. Look at this face! Xena has the best angry face. Imagine that being the last thing you see before you die. Through the hole in the roof, she spots Dorian creeping up to try and murder Gabrielle. He's about to really regret every choice in life that has led him to this point. On her way back down, Xena sets off a couple of traps to clear the floor, and I really feel like there should be a bigger pile of bodies down there now. But that's okay, we can just assume there's been a lot of pathetic crawling out of shot. The Persians start to beat her down, and oh, what a kick! We have got to watch this back! This whole scene is great, in fact, if you are a fan of kicks. I'm also a big fan of this bit where she runs on top of several Persians, ending up face to face with Dorian again. Just watch her snatch this arrow out of the air, sniff it to check for poison, and then... It's here! We found it! I know I made you wait for it, but this is our Smackdown of the Week! It is fittingly savage, especially paired with this line, which frankly sounds like something Xena would have said in her villain days.
I'm going to let you die quicker, but with much more pain.
Another wave of goons rolls in, and dying Dorian takes the opportunity to slink away.
That's right, crawl. Crawl for you stinking life!
Oh, hang on a tick. What's Dorian just found?
You feeling better now that you found your medicine?
He definitely isn't, since you didn't let him drink any. Dorian tries to strangle her, but she pushes him onto another guy's sword. And that's that for him. Yet another wave of Persians has entered the armory, but Xena's about to pass one heck of an intimidate check.
Go home, there are thousands more like me.
And they do! Solid choice, boys. Excellent survival instincts. Now there's nothing left for Xena to do but... Get out! Back off! Now there's nothing left for Xena to do but give Gabrielle her antidote and collapse in a heap. And that brings this glorious chapter of Xena, Warrior Princess, to a close. If you don't think this is one of the best episodes of Xena ever made, you're wrong and we can't be friends. It's got the drama, it's got the heartbreak, it's got an 8-minute action sequence that's easily as good as what you would have seen in movies of the time. 5 chakrams out of 5. So, what have we learnt today? Well, the next time there's an invading army coming your way, why pin all of your hopes on 300 shirtless dudes when Xena Warrior Princess can get it done all by herself? Thanks for watching. See you next time.